Alright, what I got on the bench here is a night vision camera. This is my security camera for out front of my house. It actually goes over my front door. The problem with this is the infrared illuminators are not working. They shut off one night and it was off for a couple weeks, and then it came back on for a couple days and then it went off again. So I think there's either a bad connection or possibly in the past I've seen infrared illuminators, actually the infrared LEDs themselves burn out, and since they're in a series of rays, once one opens up it tends to break the whole circuit. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on yet. This camera was probably only about $35–40, and it claims to have a CMOS color Sony sensor, imaging sensor. So I'd like to get this thing working again. If not, I actually have 2 or 3 replacements in the basement for other cameras I was meaning to put around the house, but never did. The one reason I chose this particular camera is because it has interchangeable focal point lenses you can actually swap out. And I actually have a wide-angle lens on this because the camera is so close to where it's recording, so it actually gets a good peripheral view of what it's trying to record. And if you look here at my recording of the night vision, there is some ambient light that is coming from other sources, but when this thing is working, it is definitely a lot more illuminated than this. So we're going to crack this open and see if we find anything obvious. Maybe we'll find just a simple bad solder connection, that it was either overheated or just poorly soldered, or just a matter of maybe it's just as simple as the cable that goes to the main board. Who knows? We'll check it out. Alright, so we're going to inspect this IR illuminator board. It basically just has a 2-pin connection to the power supply, and which feeds this array of infrared LEDs, and there's some transistors and resistors on here, which I'm not too concerned about right now. I'm just going after looking for bad solder connections to see if I can find any. See, it looks, I'm not digging a lot of these connections here. If you look, see if I can get this on camera, right here it looks kind of flaky, and here, see if we can find some more. Yeah, there's one right in the center there. For the most part they're not too bad, but looks like there's something right about maybe here. That doesn't look too good on this side. Some cold solder joints. Definitely not this one. This one definitely has a crack in it on this side. I want to find something that's going to be obvious, jump like really bad, but I don't think I'm going to be that lucky. I think it's just a matter of a bunch of bad ones. Yeah, that one right there doesn't look too good. That one right about there, right next to R3. See, you got that ring, 2 different colors. That's a hairline crack around here, cold solder joint. So we'll definitely repair that. And we're back to the connector again, and there's actually one right under the connector. I don't know if I pointed that one out. That one's kind of funky. So I'm going to touch this up and put it in the back in the camera and put some power to it, and just shut the shop lights off and see if I can pick up the infrared illuminators on this particular camcorder that I'm using. This is actually a Sony Handycam, and it actually picks up in the infrared spectrum, so we'll be able to test and see if these are illuminating or not. So let me solder it up and we'll come back. Alright, I'm going to try and actually record the process of the soldering. I'm going to actually add a little bit of flux with my pen here, all the way around. This, I don't know, may be boring for a lot of you, so you can always fast forward to the end. But if anybody's interested in watching the soldering process. Alright, so we have the outer row. Now I'm just adding flux so the old solder will merge with the new solder a little bit better. Sometimes the solder, the flux that's in the solder is not enough when you have old solder joints that you're going over. And you don't want to have to suck up all the old solder and start, you know, with fresh. You can do that if you'd like, but I don't like to put a lot of heat to the boards, a little as possible, so I'm just going to touch them up. And I think that's it. Got them all. Those are all the LED connections. So I'm just going to take my fine point iron and my rosin core solder. I'm just going to start burning. Here's where it gets repetitive and boring. But as you can see, the solder is flowing so much better having that added flux on there. As soon as I'm touching the tip of the iron to the old solder, it's liquefying almost immediately. If you put your iron on dry solder, it tends to sit there and laugh at you sometimes, so it does help. Now these things were probably assembled in China or something, so they probably put it through a wave soldering machine that, you know, to keep the cost down. They don't put a lot of high quality efforts into it. So sometimes you have to do things over again. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here. I don't know. I had to take the macro lens off so I was able to focus on the fine work. And clean your iron too, you know, that's always good. I mean, if you really want to be tedious, you can clean your iron on every solder connection, but we're not doing high-end work here. This isn't NASA's quality soldering here. Alright, so I think I've got all the inside done. Now I'm going to start at the connector and work my way around the other side. The funny thing is, if no LEDs burn out after this, and if this works, it'll probably work for a very long time. And also adding just a little bit of flux keeps the circuit board a little bit cool too. Not super cool, but it stops it from pads lifting up. Even though I think this is a through-hole double-sided board. But the most minimal heat you can add to it, the better off you are. And to get the old flux off, what we're gonna use a isopropanol, and we're going to put it on there with a toothbrush and get it all off. So it should look like brand new again. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could just take an IR illuminator out of another camera, but I don't want to open up a whole new box for a new camera and just to get the IR illuminator out of it, because I plan on using those cameras eventually. bad one right there. I don't have to touch the surface mount transistors and resistors. They actually look pretty good. Just the LEDs. Two more. Alright, that's it. So now we're going to take a toothbrush, some alcohol, just work your way around. Most likely it's just going to move the flux around and disperse it. If you really want to get it ideally clean, you'd actually wash it off and, you know, run the alcohol. But I'm not looking for, like I said, high end here. I'm just looking to get it working again and get most of this off. Do another coat. Because the alcohol does not dissolve the flux, it just actually reliquefies it and moves it around. But I like to be able to get it off so I can see the connections, make sure I got no bridges. Alright, well that was an epic fail. We got all these LEDs are actually burnt out. I had one that lit up and I pulled it out and I tested it and I measured it against the ones that didn't light up, and they're no good. So it was a nice attempt though. I thought it would be easy enough fix to try and resolder some of those bad connections, but hey, it didn't hurt anything and it was worth a shot. I did find replacements for these on the internet. I am going to get them. They're about between, I've been seeing them for about between $3 and $6 each, so for $4, I am not even gonna play with these anymore. I'm just gonna replace them. So I've actually took one out of my other camera, which is brand new in the box. I have 3 of these, and I put it in place, and there it is. She works again. So put this back in use, and that's it. Luckily enough, I bought a set of cameras that came with a standard IR illuminator. It's a 36 IR LED array, so very common. You can find these almost anywhere. The model number is FY-3036. Now, if you're searching for these on your favorite auction website, you will not find it on that part number. You will have to type in 36 IR LED illuminator replacement, and you will come up with a few sellers that will be more than happy to send you however many you want. So from now on, at least I know. But that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.